Is it running? So I made a game. Again. This time with other people. Last month I participated in my first ever game jam, Ludum Dare 48. And I wanted to share my experience with you. What's Ludum Dare Game Jam? It's a game making contest for people who want to ruin their sleeping schedule, eating habits, and ignore their friends and family for a weekend in order to make a game. I didn't even dare to think about participating. What would a noob like me be able to make in such a short time? But then Michael Aranda, whom I met through Twitch, asked me if I wanted to make a game with him and Steve. I know Michael has some programming experience and knows how to make music. Steve is also known as the only programmer in my Twitch chat who's never wrong. So I knew I was in good hands. So that meant I could do the thing that I was most comfortable with. The visuals. The visuals sounds lovely. One problem though. I was terrified of working with other people. Coincidentally, that's the main reason why I decided to participate. I was terrified of working with other people in a game industry, where games are made by huge teams. Dude is doing exercises like something like that. If you think about it, there isn't that much about a game jam I couldn't do without one. I could set a time limit, choose a random topic. I even have Twitch audience to play my game and give me some feedback. But teamwork, learning to compromise, make decisions together, that's something only Game Jam could offer. Hi bird! So I knew I had to try. I knew this was a skill that I wanted to have, that I needed to have if I wanted to be a game developer. And who knows, I probably learned things. And you know what? I learned something before the jam even began. I learned something about myself. Let's go. On streams people ask me, what kind of games do you want to make? And I never knew what to answer. It even makes me feel like a fraud sometimes. You know, those real developers, they have this game that they always wanted to make since they were little. And I didn't. But when I had to sit and write down a list of game ideas for a bunch of topics, I realized that I do have preferences. Those games were mostly story-based, all kind of casual, and I twisted all the topics to somehow magically fit STEM theme that I find interesting. So I did know what kind of games I wanted to make all along. I just never sat down to think about it, actually. Jam lasted 3 days. On day 1, when the topic was revealed, we joined Discord to brainstorm. By the way, my least favorite topic one, deeper and deeper. We knew we didn't want to make a digging game. We briefly talked about the idea of an underground skyscraper or a city, but then someone brought up space. Space is exciting. That made me think of all the cute low-poly planets I can make. So here's what we came up with. Your spaceship, trying to get deeper and deeper into the center of the galaxy. You're hopping from planet to planet. Their rotation and gravity affect your trajectory. After you land on a planet, you need to lift off at the correct time to get where you want to without bumping into obstacles. At the end of the level, there is a black hole that you need to reach. So kinda like space golf. So we added a big flag sticking out of the black hole. We also called the game T-, because puns are cool. First thing I did was to sit down and figure out the overall look of the game. I knew it was very important, and I wasn't sure how to do it in Unity, so it was a priority. I modeled some planets, spaceship, asteroids, stars. Post-processing wise, I made sure to use the simplest things I knew we could replicate in Unity. So I used a simple ambient light, slight directional light, and ambient occlusion. I also added field of view and bloom.
Yes! Done!
And we didn't end up having field of view, bloom, or ambient occlusion, because we ran out of time to add post-processing. I finished modeling everything by the end of day 2. I went to bed a bit later than I planned, because I added TARDIS and TARS from Interstellar. Totally worth it though, because half of the reviews mentioned TARDIS, and nobody mentioned TARS. Okay, first big advantage of a game jam that comes to mind. You get to actually experience things that you only knew about theoretically. For me, it was good. I spent about 4 hours learning it on stream the day before the jam. Yet, I still couldn't really visualize what the end of the jam is gonna look like. When I modeled the planets, Will I send it to somebody who's going to be setting up a Unity file and ask them to tweak the color a little bit or move something or, make some small changes? And yeah, I couldn't imagine how flexible Git is. So what happened was I messed up some colliders for the asteroid walls. And we realized that when I was making a level design. I asked Steve to fix it. He did it, pushed the update, and it all seamlessly fixed itself when I was still working on the same level. The fact that you could so smoothly collaborate with others was a huge surprise to me, even though I knew about it. From the very beginning, we knew that level design was really important, and we wanted to polish it really well. We wanted to introduce new mechanics in a progressive order to not confuse the player from the start. So of course we did it all in the last 2 hours of the jam. We uploaded the game 10 minutes before the deadline. 3 days of constant work were over. It was Tuesday morning, and I just finished my first ever game jam. And the game was working. I couldn't be happier. The game didn't have a web build. Gravity radiuses weren't showing. Level design... We didn't test the game. You could only quit the game after winning it. Bird! Please stop, Bird! But I couldn't be happier. Those were my models on the screen. They were bouncing, rotating, flying around. 3 days ago, none of it existed even in my mind. It was such a surreal experience. You can play the game yourself. You can check it out if you wanted to. I'd be super happy. I'll leave a link in the description. So yeah, was it worth it? Totally. I was so nervous before the stream that I would let people down, that I would screw up somehow. So the fact that I didn't was a huge relief. So that was the main advantage of the game jam to me. Getting my feet wet. I tried. Next time it's gonna be better. I think that's the most important part in anything. Just not being afraid to try. After that, getting good is just a matter of time. My personal favorite thing happened after the jam. People shared the games they made in our Discord, and I played them. Seeing what other contestants came up with, given the same topic in the same amount of time, was so inspiring. These games were stunning, hilarious, adorable, clever, extremely fun, and touching. Some made me feel like an epic ninja, others like a smart detective, a corporate mole, a potato. I played these games on stream, and so many developers joined and chatted with me. With me, a complete noob who just started game development. Yeah, this is why I wanted to make games. Because of the people who would want to share their knowledge and experience with a complete newbie like me. Isn't that awesome? Thank you guys for watching, and thank you everybody who supported me throughout my first ever game jam. And thank you Michael and Steve for asking me to be a part of this team. It was awesome. If you wanted to see what I'm up to next, subscribe. Join our Discord, we chat there, and there is just a huge awesome community of people who would help you out or just send you memes. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! The game didn't have a web build. It's okay. There was Windows build. No need to be angry. Oh yeah, don't forget to leave a like.